Hello students, I am Raman Gupta from Government College Bara, and we are going to discuss literary term free verse in this video. I hope you will be benefited by this video. Okay, so let's start. Free verse is an open form of poetry which in its modern form arose through the French vers libre, where libre form it does not use consistent meter patterns, rhyme, or any musical pattern. It thus tends to follow the rhythm of natural speech. So, the free verse is an open form of poetry in which it does not follow any kind of metrical pattern, rhyme, or musical pattern. It follows the rhythm of the speech in which people or the poet speaks. Definition: free verse does not proceed by a strict set of rules. So, there are no strict rules for free verse. Is not a literary type and does not conform to a formal structure. It is not considered to be completely free. In 1948, Charles Allen wrote, "The only freedom cadenced verse obtains is a limited freedom from the tight demands of the metered line. Free verse contains some elements of form, including the poetic line, which may vary freely, rhythm, strophes or strophic rhythms, stanzaic patterns, and rhythmic units or cadences. It is said that verse is free when it is not primarily obtained by the metered line. Donald Hall goes as far as to say that the form of free verse is as binding and as liberating as the form of a rondo. Rondo and T.S. Eliot wrote, "No verse is free for the man who wants to do a good job." Eliot writes, "No verse is free." It means there is no verse which can be left free for man who wants to do a good job, who wants to create a good poetry, he wants to compose a good poetry. There is no verse like that, free verse. Kenneth Allott, the poet and critic, said the adoption by some poets of vers libre arose from mere desire for novelty, the imitation of Whitman, the study of Jacobean dramatic blank verse, and the awareness of what French poets had already done to the Alexandrine in France. The American critic John Livingston Lawes in 1916 observed free verse may be written as very beautiful prose. Prose may be written as very beautiful free verse. Which is which? It means there is no proper distinction between free verse and prose. It can be said prose or free verse in which the poet or the composer wants to put it. in which category he wants to put it. Some poets have considered free verse restrictive in its own way. In 1922, Robert Bridges voiced his reservations in the essay Humdrum and Harum Scarum. Robert Frost, in a comment regarding Carl Sandburg, later remarked that writing free verse was like playing tennis without a net. Was like playing tennis without a net. Is it possible? That is possible. But how will it be played? Sandberg responded, saying in part, there have been poets who could and did play more than one game of tennis with unseen rackets, volleying airy and fantastic balls over an insubstantial net on a frail moonlight fabric of a court. William Carroll's Williams said, being an art form, a verse cannot be free in the sense of having no limitations or guiding principles. The greatest fluidity of statement is possible where the greatest clarity of form prevails. The free verse that is really verse, the best that is of W.C. Williams, H.D. Marianne Moore, Wallace Stevens, and Ezra Pound, is in its peculiar fashion the antithesis of free. So, this was all about the term, students. I hope you have got the term, you have got the meaning, the definition, the examples, and what is the actuality in the term. Thank you. If you want to ask anything, you can ask. And thank you and have a nice day.